Welcome back. In our last video, we explored the Cadillac Escalade IQ, GM's flagship electric SUV that sits at the very top of the lineup. Today we are moving down the ladder a bit to see how Cadillac is filling out the rest of its EV family. This time we'll be looking at the new Cadillac Vistiq and the Cadillac Optiq, with a quick nod to the Lyriq, since those two actually fit closer to most people's daily driving needs. The Vistiq is Cadillac's three-row luxury EV. Think of it as a more approachable, more affordable alternative to the Escalade IQ, but still with high-end materials and that premium Cadillac feel. On the other hand, the Optiq and its slightly larger sibling, the Lyriq, are designed as everyday drivers. They are the ones going head to head with cars like the Tesla Model Y, offering Cadillac design and a comfort at a price point that fits into mainstream EV conversations. In this video, we'll go deep on the Optiq with a quick peek into the Lyriq, especially their software experience, since that's becoming just as important as range or horsepower in today's EV world. We'll also take a quick look at how these models fit into GM's broader strategy of offering electric options at multiple price points across its brands. Along the way, we'll touch on their drive systems, charging capabilities, and all the user relevant details that matter when you're deciding which of these cars, if any, might fit your lifestyle. So let's get into it. Let's start with the Vistiq and get the specs out of the way. It comes in at about 206 inches long, 87 inches wide with the mirrors, and 71 inches tall, riding on a 122-inch wheelbase. That makes it smaller than the Escalade, but still a full-size SUV with room for 6 or 7 passengers. Up front and in the second row, legroom is pretty much on par with the Escalade. The difference shows up in the third row with just about 30 to 31 inches of legroom, which really limits it to kids or smaller passengers for anything beyond short trips. Total cargo space in the Vistiq comes to about 80.2 cubic feet with the seats folded and just 15.2 cubic feet behind the third row. For context, that's right in line with the Tesla Model X at about 15 cubic feet, while the Rivian R1S gives you closer to 18. The Vistiq runs on a 102 kWh battery pack. Peak DC fast charging tops out at 190 kilowatts, which is on the low side for a vehicle in this class. By comparison, the Escalade IQ can reach 350 kilowatts, so road trip charging in the Vistiq will likely take longer. It's still using the CCS1 standard, though adapters will allow access to Tesla superchargers, and the real world experience there remains to be seen. On the flip side, AC charging is a strong point. The Vistiq supports up to 19.2 kilowatts on level 2, which is excellent if you have the electrical capacity at home. Realistically, most owners will stick with 11.5 kilowatts overnight, which is more than enough for daily driving. The Vistiq comes well equipped with power electronics. You get two USB-C ports in each of the three rows, plus an extra one in the center console, bringing the total to 7. There's also a 12-volt outlet inside the console, and just behind it, a 120-volt household-style outlet rated at 150 watts. That's especially handy for things like charging a MacBook or other small devices on the go. The grille is bold, diamond cut, and lights up along with the Cadillac emblem for a modern, high-tech look. The LED headlamps are sharp and sleek, with multiple elements inside that create a layered, jewel-like effect. They adapt to different driving conditions, adjusting brightness and beam direction automatically, while the cornering lights at the edges help illuminate the path when turning. The bumper and lower fascia are sculpted and aerodynamic, with sensors and cameras built in to support features like hands-free Super Cruise and optional night vision. Every detail at the front is designed to look sharp and work smart. From the side, the Vistiq is sleek and athletic. The roof slopes gently to the rear for a coupe-like shape, and strong lines give it depth and motion. Big wheels feel the arches, and the side mirrors hide cameras and sensors for driver assistance. Smooth panels and hidden door handles make it feel futuristic and clean. At the back, the Vistiq looks just as impressive. A full-width LED light bar connects the taillights for a distinctive look, and the sculpted bumper flows with the design. Sensors and cameras are integrated for parking and safety, and a subtle spoiler adds a sporty touch. The illuminated Cadillac emblem completes the rear, making it feel modern, premium, and confident. The steering wheel feels both modern and luxurious. It's a two-spoke design that's sleek and minimalist, giving a clear view of the digital instrument cluster behind it. The wheel is wrapped in soft, high-quality leather that feels smooth yet grippy, with subtle stitching that adds a touch of refinement. Along the top of the wheel, there's the Super Cruise strip that glows subtly when the hands-free driving system is active, giving a high-tech visual cue without being distracting. The overall shape is slightly flattened at the bottom for a sporty touch, and the contours are designed to fit naturally in your hands, making long drives comfortable while maintaining precise control. The materials and finish throughout convey a sense of understated elegance, blending luxury and advanced technology. On the left of the steering are the cruise control buttons that let you set, adjust, and cancel your speed for a more relaxed drive on highways. A heated steering wheel button adds comfort in colder weather. Driver assistance system controls allow you to activate or adjust features that enhance safety and convenience. The V mode button lets you customize vehicle settings to suit your driving style. And while it's not a button, the Super Cruise indicator light shows when the hands free driving system is active, so you always know its status. On top, you see two metal toggles for displaying driver information such as trip data, vehicle status, or settings on the digital display, and adjusting cruise speed. On the right, the toggles help navigate the infotainment system, scroll through menus, or confirm selections besides volume control. They provide quick access to frequently used functions without needing to reach for the touchscreen. On the right spoke of the steering wheel, there are several buttons focused on media, connectivity, and driver information. You'll find controls for adjusting the volume, changing tracks or radio stations, and managing phone calls, so you can stay connected without taking your hands off the wheel. There's also a voice command button that lets you interact with the infotainment system or navigation using simple voice prompts. Additionally, buttons allow you to scroll through and customize the digital driver display, giving you quick access to trip information, navigation directions, and vehicle status. All the buttons are neatly integrated into the spoke for easy reach, keeping the design clean and intuitive while letting you manage entertainment and information effortlessly. At the center is the horn with the Cadillac emblem in the center, doubling up as the airbag cover. The left stalk has the turn signals, high beams, and headlight controls. It also includes the wiper and washer functions for the front and rear with an auto rain sensing mode. Just behind it sits a paddle for regenerative braking. The right stalk has the drive selector with drive, reverse, and park. It also offers manual shift mode with paddles and includes cruise control activation. The center console is wrapped in the same premium soft touch material as the rest of the cabin, giving it a refined, seamless feel. It features two handy storage compartments, and right between them sits a rotary knob that controls the main infotainment system. Surrounding the knob are intuitive buttons for quick access to key functions like media, navigation, and back home commands, so you can navigate the system easily without reaching for the touchscreen. On either side, there are small storage pockets perfect for your phone, wallet, or other small essentials. Then there's a larger compartment tucked under the cantilevered section of the console, giving you a deep, easily accessible space for bigger items. It feels thoughtfully designed, keeping everything within reach while maintaining that clean, uncluttered look. The armrest on the driver's door holds the main window switches for all four doors, along with a small toggle to lock the passenger windows and a joystick style control to adjust the side mirrors. Right by the door handle, you got the lock and unlock buttons, and on some trims, memory seat buttons so you can save your favorite seating positions. Then, just alongside the steering column, there's a small panel for adjusting the tilt and telescopic position of the wheel, a dimmer for the instrument cluster, and controls for things like the parking brake or trunk release. You can clearly see the influence of Cadillac's Escalade in the design, it's unmistakable. The first row is roomy and supportive, with plush, well cushioned seats that feel premium without being stiff. The second row offers generous legroom, enough that adults can stretch out comfortably on longer drives, and the seats slide and recline to adjust for even more comfort. The third row is usable yet mainly for kids or shorter adults, and the seats fold flat to expand cargo space when you need it. Each row has high quality upholstery, soft touch surfaces, and contoured cushioning that keeps everyone comfortable. The rear passengers also get their own touchscreen controls mounted in the back of the front center console, letting them adjust climate settings or access media independently. The Vistiq offers 615 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque, delivers 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, and can tow 5,000 pounds. Now let's talk about software, which is shared across Cadillac's EV lineup. The Vistiq, Optiq, Lyriq, and the Escalade IQ I covered earlier on this channel all run Android Automotive. That brings built-in Google Maps, voice assistant, and app support. These vehicles also receive over-the-air updates, while the Ultium energy management system works in the background to balance power and range. Bottom left holds the main menu, while the top shows vehicle status. Vehicle status includes the tire pressure indicator, and the rest of the options are pretty self-explanatory. Excuse the shaky footage, I left my handle behind. Cadillac EVs work on the Android Automotive version 12. Here's the energy info. The top two show usage from climate control and driving, while the bottom two track energy since reset and since the last full charge. Next to vehicle status, you'll find the drive modes, starting with Tour, then Sport, Snow Ice, and a custom option. In custom, you can adjust steering, suspension, braking, and acceleration feel, along with motor sound. Next is charging, letting you choose to charge now or later. Then comes Charge Assist, which finds nearby chargers once you log in. After that is scheduled charging, along with a bunch of settings like setting your home location, notifications, preparing for fast charge, and battery preconditioning. That's followed by the split screen overhead camera, offering three different views for front and rear. This is already an industry standard and it comes with some user customizable options to explore. Though I'm so used to the 15-inch center display, this feels a bit small to fit all of that information. We can move forward. That's followed by the general settings that speak for themselves for the most part. When we compare Android Automotive OS and Tesla's infotainment system, we can look at several key categories. Starting with vehicle integration, Android provides deep control over the car's hardware. You can adjust climate settings, seat positions, steering feel in some models, and more directly through the infotainment display. Tesla offers similarly comprehensive control, letting drivers manage climate, charging, autopilot features, and even detailed vehicle settings from its central touchscreen. Both systems are tightly integrated, though Tesla's interface tends to feel slightly more intuitive in day-to-day use. Moving on to the app ecosystem and connectivity, Android connects to the Google Play Store, giving access to a wide range of apps for music, navigation, and productivity. It allows apps to run natively in the vehicle without relying on a smartphone. Tesla, in contrast, has a curated selection of apps and services. You won't find a full app store, but the built in options are optimized for driving, entertainment, and convenience. This curated approach limits variety but reduces distraction and keeps everything streamlined. Navigation and routing is another major point of comparison. Android Automotive relies on Google Maps, giving real time traffic, route planning, and familiar search capabilities. Tesla uses a proprietary navigation system that integrates traffic, charging station locations, and even energy usage predictions, optimized specifically for Tesla vehicles. Both systems are effective, but Tesla's approach is tightly tuned to the car and its battery range. In the real world, Tesla scores heavily with its world class integration and charging network. On this front, it's still far ahead of competition. In terms of user interface and customization, Android offers highly configurable layouts, widgets, and themes. Drivers can adjust the interface to suit their preferences, which is useful for personalization. Tesla's interface is more minimalist and standardized, focusing on clarity and ease of use rather than customization. Tesla's system looks built for the car, while Android is implemented differently by different OEMs and lacks that consistency. This extends to the mobile app and overall usability. Let's take a look at the Auto Park Assist. It shows options for exiting and parking, asking the user for their preferences. That's interesting and will need to be tried out in practice. These features can't really be reviewed here. You have the Google Voice Assistant. The use of voice assistants in a driving environment has had mixed feedbacks. It's useful on the margins for the most part, and limited in terms of things it can do for you. Let's now look at the very critical area of navigation and route planning. Some customary setup options to get us started. I'm going to check some of the standard routes I check on all of the route planning systems. This will help us understand the performance differences in this very limited check. Union Square, San Francisco. It's 51 miles away, about an hour and a minute to get there, arriving with 73% in state of charge. An alternate route is suggested too. Tap Start and the navigation sets up right away. Personally, I prefer larger displays for this kind of application since they give you a wider view of the map. Here, you almost always need to zoom out, otherwise, you are stuck with just the most immediate view of the drive. This flat design has become really popular with many automakers, and I don't think Google is paying much attention to changing it. The map is zippy, so that's good. Let's check the Yosemite National Park. It displays the primary information, time, distance, and state of charge on arrival. It takes another tap to see some basic details about the place. I can already notice the difference compared to Volvo Polestar cars with their larger center displays. Here it feels mostly limited to navigation. I see that it recognizes there's enough charge to reach the destination with a healthy state of charge, so it doesn't suggest any charging stops. Let's check the Tesla Diner in LA. Can you see the effort it takes to stretch my hand over to the small keypad on the left? Now imagine the added distraction of doing that while driving. I'm planning a separate video on this issue because the safety concerns with EVs will likely exceed even known driving hazards when it comes to using these center displays. For both the roughly 170 miles to Yosemite and the 340 miles over 6 hours to LA, it predicts the same 30% state of charge on arrival. Plain and simple, this simply isn't ready for prime time. It won't inspire user confidence when it comes to navigation, and route planning becomes even more difficult. That's the Cadillac app, and I think this will require authentication. That's the command for the glove box, and it sits alongside some handy quick access tools like the command for one pedal drive. The overall system response time is very good. That's Android Automotive 12 in a nutshell. It's a modern polished system that brings Google's familiar ecosystem into the car. At a glance, it handles basic functions well, from media to voice controls. But when it comes to key features like route planning and navigation, it still shows its limitations. Predicted state of charge for longer trips can feel inconsistent, and suggested charging stops aren't always practical. The experience also depends heavily on the hardware. Smaller displays and different layouts can make simple tasks less intuitive, requiring more taps or zooming just to get the full picture. Overall, while Android Automotive 12 is a solid step forward, it's not yet fully optimized for the demands of EV driving or for all types of in car hardware. There's potential here, but drivers should be aware of its current constraints. Then there's the Optiq. This is Cadillac's smaller crossover designed for daily life. It competes in one of the busiest EV segments right now, alongside the Tesla Model Y, the Polestar 3, the Honda Prologue, and many more. The Optiq is not about massive size or big road trips. It is about making Cadillac design, comfort, and technology available in a practical package that you can use every day. It is the kind of car that could introduce a whole new audience to Cadillac's EV world. The Optiq comes standard with dual motor all-wheel drive, putting out around 300 horsepower. The battery is slightly smaller, about 85 kilowatt hours usable. Charging speed goes up to around 150 to 190 kilowatts, which is disappointing, and range expected is between 280 to 300 miles. Inside, the Optiq keeps the same digital dashboard style as the Vistiq, but in a two-row layout. It seats 5 passengers with plenty of rear legroom. For charging, you get a wireless charging pad in the center console, USB-C ports up front, and more for the rear passengers on the back of the center console. Besides the 120-volt outlet, storage is flexible with a versatile rear hatch and split folding seats. On the outside, the Optiq looks like a smaller Lyriq, with the same sharp lines and Cadillac's vertical lighting signature. It is sleek, sporty, and fits into tighter city spaces while keeping the luxury feel. The charging port is also on the driver's side front fender, hidden behind a powered flap. A slightly scaled back version of the Optiq is the Lyriq. I'll lay out the differences in the dimensions here. They share the same design language, the same Google based software, and a similar driving feel. That Google software we just saw in the Vistiq is common across all the GM EVs. Up front, the Optiq looks sharp and modern. The hood has clean creases that give it a sculpted feel, leading into a white blacked out grille with a fine mesh texture. A thin metallic trim runs across the width, tying into the slim LED signature lights, with a Cadillac crest lit at the center. Lighting is the standout here. Vertical LED DRLs run down the fascia like blades, connected to a horizontal strip across the top, while the main projectors sit tucked inside for a minimalist look. Below, the bumper has layered gloss black accents and a mostly closed lower intake with just a few cooling slots. From the side, the SUV looks planted and athletic. Subtle flares frame the multi-spoke alloys, wrapped with black cladding that feels premium more than rugged. A strong shoulder line runs the length of the body, while the roof tapers gently into a small spoiler. Body color mirrors with integrated signals that ties it all together with a clean, upscale vibe. From the back, the Optiq has Cadillac's unmistakable light signature. The taillights are tall, vertical LED blades, positioned at the edges and slightly angled inwards, which makes the rear look wider and more athletic. Each unit has a crisp, layered construction with a main red vertical strip for braking and running lights, and a slim white section for reverse. The rear glass is wide and steeply raked, topped by a subtle roof spoiler that houses the third brake light. Below it, a gloss black strip runs across the width, visually connecting the taillights while adding a premium brake in the body color. At the center sits the Cadillac crest, with the Optic badging on one side and the trim badge on the other. The passenger door in the Cadillac Optic has a simple modern layout. The upper section is soft touch material with either fabric or recycled paperwood trim depending on the interior package. The armrest is padded with contrast stitching, and the window and lock controls sit in a metallic finish panel just ahead of it. Lower down, the speaker grille is integrated into the door with a neat geometric pattern, alongside a useful door pocket. The dashboard is clean and minimal with this very peculiar slant at the passenger side. Across the top, soft touch materials give it a premium feel, and trim options like fabric or recycled paperwood add subtle texture. The center houses the center display and controls, integrated neatly without extra buttons cluttering the space. The instrument panel behind the wheel is fully digital, with good graphics and customizable layouts. Air vents and metallic accents are simple and purposeful, keeping the look modern but restrained. The Optic features a 33-inch horizontally oriented touchscreen that sits across the dash. The UI UX is similar to what we saw in the Vistiq. The center console features a flat, open area for small items, with cup holders and a wireless charging pad built in. Under the armrest, there is a reasonably sized storage compartment. The top surface of the console shows a glossy finish, while trim finishes match the rest of the cabin with soft touch surfaces and subtle metallic accents. The steering wheel is a 3-spoke design with a slightly flattened bottom. The left spoke has the buttons for adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and menu navigation. The right spoke has buttons for media, voice commands, and phone functions. The left stalk includes controls for turn signals, high beams, wipers, and driver assistance features. The right stalk contains the electronic shifter. There is also a regenerative braking paddle on the back of the wheel. The driver door has a soft touch upper panel, and the armrest is padded with contrast stitching. On the armrest, there are controls for all four windows, window lock, and the side mirror adjustments. The door panel also includes the lock buttons and a speaker grille integrated into the lower section. On the dash next to the steering column, you find additional controls for the rear trunk, auto hold, and the electronic parking brake. The seats in the Optic are upholstered in soft touch materials, with options for leather or premium fabric depending on trim. Both front seats are supportive and feature contrast stitching that matches the interior accents. Rear seats offer good legroom with enough space for adults in both rows. The rear of the center console has vents for climate control and a small storage area. The cargo area is spacious for a compact SUV with a flat floor, and the space expands by folding the rear seats flat. Headroom is ample in both rows, giving the cabin an open feel. Overall, the interior combines practicality, comfort, and a modern design with thoughtful touches for both front and rear passengers. I will not go deep into the Cadillac Lyriq here, but it is worth a quick mention. Think of it as the Optic's bigger sibling, with the same design language, sharp lighting, and premium feel, stretched into a larger package with more space and presence. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive into the Cadillac Vistiq and Optic. We have explored the exteriors, interiors, key features, and of course the infotainment systems powered by Android Automotive 12. From the steering wheel layout to the rear cargo space, I have tried to give a complete picture of what I could see and also what I was told by Cadillac. What is clear is how Cadillac and GM more broadly is approaching vehicle development today. By building multiple cars on the same underlying drive system, previously known as Ultium, they can create vehicles for different use cases, from a luxury SUV like the Escalade or Vistiq to the more compact Optic, while maintaining consistency in performance, efficiency, and technology. This approach lets them scale their electric platforms across the brand while still giving each model its own character and functionality. You got to verify these features with your own hands on experience, especially before making any big decisions. That applies to everything I talk about here on this channel. With Android Automotive 12, I see a solid system, but one that still needs to scale up in a big way to keep up with the competition. These cars don't yet have the NACS adapter, which is another key factor, and the DC charging speeds so far have fallen short of expectations, especially with these large battery packs. That's in contrast to the Escalade IQ and other big GM vehicles. Thanks again for watching. You can check out some of my recent videos here and stay tuned for more on electric vehicles. See you in the next one.